What is an RPG I would like to see published? That, my friends, is a loaded question. um, so, first of all, I think that this is kind of a golden age of RPGs. And if there is a type of game that you want to play, it's pretty much available. But I am doubly lucky because in recent years, the licenses that I've been most interested in are are being or have been published. So there's two versions of Lankhmar. Of course, I'm going to own them both. There's a great Conan RPG. I'll be honest, I never liked the D20 version. Didn't think it captured the feel. Solomon Kane, uh, which is a game that's pretty much done, but it's it's a complete game, and I own it all, so we're good to go there. Um, Leverage. Leverage was a great TV show, one of my all-time favorites, and that RPG is pretty much complete too. So there's no like licensed RPG that I'd like to see. Um, I might say maybe Star Frontiers. It was the very first role-playing game I GM'd. Um, it's a possibility, but frankly, that's been made fully available too. You can uh, download uh, the digital remix, as it were, but it's not something you'll ever find on a store shelf. Um, Pinnacle Entertainment did sort of an ode to Star Frontiers a couple years ago called The Last Parsec, which is brilliant. So it's hard for me to say what's coming out. Um, and in the DIY nature of this hobby, if there's a licensed game you're looking for that hasn't been published, somebody's done their own version of it. Saw the other day that Sean Bircher did a version of Gargoyles, which is probably one I would mention as well. So I will talk about an RPG that I've wanted to play. And again, this one is something that can be done with what's out there and existing and has existed since the 90s. But several years ago, there was a series of animated movies put out by Marvel and Lionsgate. And the one that really captured my attention was Doctor Strange. I was not a big Doctor Strange fan in my comic book reading years as a kid, although I followed him in The Defenders, loved The Defenders as a kid. And so I don't know a ton about him other than what's been sort of repeated in every comic book he shows up in. The movie was also phenomenal, but of course that's going to tie in with the Avengers stuff that they're doing. But when I watched the animated film that they did, the very first 5 or 6 minutes of the movie before the credits, there's this really kind of phenomenal battle that occurs with the with the protagonists fighting this giant creature that is sort of encroached from the spirit world into our world, and the action, the way the magic looked and worked, really inspired me, and I've actually done some work to realize a setting of my own based on that 6 minutes of the Doctor Strange animated film. And that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a game that's based on that concept. Now, I don't mean just a Supers game, and I don't mean pick up Mutants and Masterminds and the Supernatural Handbook. I mean a fully realized setting with those concepts in place. Now, there have been some settings that would work great too. Both versions of Mage from White Wolf and Onyx Path would work. The Werewolf the Forsaken from, I guess now it's called Chronicles of Darkness, is basically creatures protecting the world from, the spirit realm. But I'm talking about superpowers plus this magical element as a fully realized setting that sort of concentrates on the supernatural element. So if there's a game that's got a fully realized setting that is like that, with these very wuxia-esque magic warrior type characters, I'd love to hear about it. With my luck, it's something I already own. Who knows? But that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see, go out there to Netflix and watch the first 6 minutes of Doctor Strange, the animated movie. And if somebody wants to get to work on that, you just let me know. But that's what I have. I will say one thing that's interesting, and I was talking to my wife about this before I left the house this morning. There's even a My Little Pony RPG now. And that's funny because I ran My Little Pony almost 4 years ago for my daughter's 10th birthday party. I ran it using Fate Accelerated. And to see the RPG actually show up on the shelf, it tells me two things. One, everything can become an RPG now. And two, My Little Pony is really something that is aimed at girls. I know a lot of boys that love My Little Pony, and I know there's bronies out there, but the original aim of My Little Pony was little girls. And it is so cool to see a role-playing game with a big name hitting the shelves like that. That is something that a girl is going to resonate with. And there's stuff like that out there now, but this was just something extra special for me, so I wanted to mention that. Anyway, that's it for me. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that. If you're interested in my continued blathering, subscribe. I appreciate the likes too. Everybody likes to be liked. And until next time, which will probably be tomorrow, do good, avoid evil, and play more games.